I can't believe it, but I just sold a truck. I just sold one. And you guys know I've been trying to sell my dually, right? Y'all know I've been trying to sell that dually. It has been tough to sell this dually, man. This dually out here has been a hard one to sell because it's too hard to let go. I had a lot of offers on this truck, and I knew this was gonna happen. I told my wife, I said, watch. The day before, which is today, the day before we leave, I'm gonna get 10,000 messages. It's like, that's how it works out. It's the end of the year, and everyone's trying to get their taxes in order if they own a business. And yes, a business did buy my truck. And yes, it was my dually. I did not sell my GMC. Although, I was this close to just switching the KSL and just selling my GMC, but that's my wife's truck now. But here it is. This truck is absolutely amazing. I don't care what anyone says. This is the baddest dually on YouTube. And what I mean by that is, when you think about the aesthetics of this truck, like if GM were to build a blackout for the Silverado dualies, this would be the benchmark for it. Like the small details on this truck. Like I actually like the fact that it has a little bit of chrome on the truck because it matches this right here. And even on the emblems there, it just pops really nice. Even the high clearance steps that I put on here, everything that I did just flowed really well. Even the stance out back, like the amount of space between the tires, like every little detail was just thought about when I built this truck. And when you see this truck going down the road, guys, like, oh my goodness, hopefully you guys can see it. Man, look at that stance. That thing looks so insane. And I have the tires, so I did sell the tires with the truck. Now, a couple of my friends had told me, they said, dude, you're not going to be able to sell that truck, you know, the way it is. Like, you're going to have to probably take off the tires. I think most people would want it without that. That couldn't have been further from the truth, and here's why. I had a lot of people the last couple of days put in offers. And the reason why I say last couple of days, we were going to Indiana. And so what I did was I decided to raise the price back up to like 90 grand. And I didn't want to be bothered with it because when the price was at 92.4, I'll be honest, I was kind of just pricing it because it was a very unique build. But if someone really wanted the truck, they would probably pay that number. And I did have one guy, again, who wanted it at the price. He actually offered me 92.4. Problem was, he couldn't get finance. So I just checked him off the list, and I just never heard back from him, basically. Now, I dropped the price down to 89, and that's the price that I put it back up to before our trip. And that's when I got all my offers. And I'm kind of happy I did that because a few guys, you know, were kind of dragging their feet until I did that. And then at that point, that's when I started getting all these offers. So what my friend said was kind of true, but it was not really true. I've been in sales my whole working life, and the number one thing I always noticed is people will always downplay to get a better deal. So originally, a lot of guys were offering me $75,000. Now those were most likely 100% dealers because they kept saying things like they have a cash offer or whatever. So I'm like, cool, well, you can have a cash offer, but it has to be within my liking because I'm not in a rush to sell a truck. And that's kind of what happened with me too, was I was not in a rush to sell the dually. It wasn't something that had to go. Like I wasn't running out of money. It just seemed like it was time to let it go because number one, the market is starting to get a little cruddy too, I'll be honest. So I was ready to let it go at that point because just not driving it anymore. But the biggest thing was we wanted to put the RV in the garage. So obviously having the dually, that was already in there, and that truck is probably just as hard to clean versus the RV. So getting rid of that would require less maintenance for the RV, which means I have more time to do other things. So a lot of people did not want the truck with 37s, or not, that's not true. A lot of people said they didn't care about the 37. So what I did was I told my wife, I said, you know, here's what I'll do. I'll start offering the truck without the 37s, the spacers, and I'll do, you know, maybe a little bit lower price. And that's what I did. So a few guys did say to me that they didn't care about the tires. They just liked the overall look of the truck. So what I did was I just took away the tires. And every time I did that for 3 guys, all 3 of them did the exact same thing. Nah, I want the truck the way it is. And I get it because it is a nice truck, you know, and even the guy that bought it, you know, when you know, he took it home. I mean, I think when he saw it, he said he loved it. He loved the way it looked. He loved the stance of it. And it's kind of hard to argue a dually because you don't really see them like that. Well, in Utah, you see a lot of them like that. A lot of guys use aftermarket wheels, and I don't like aftermarket wheels. So when Chevy went to those 18s, I was super happy when they did that. So all in all, I had one other scammer. So a guy actually reached out to me before the guy that bought it, and he needed to finance. But he put in an offer on AutoTrader, and by the way, I'm going to say it right now. I will never use AutoTrader again. All the scammers came off of AutoTrader. KSL here in Utah, a lot of people told me about that, and I'm so glad that I used that platform as well. That's where my truck sold off of, was KSL, and that's where I got all my real offers too, and the dealer offers as well. But the last guy had reached out to me on that Monday. The guy that purchased it got it on Wednesday. The guy put in an offer on AutoTrader, and I accepted the offer. Monday afternoons when he did that. Actually, he did it early that morning. I didn't see it till the afternoon time. So I accepted his offer at afternoon time. And he said he just needed to get financing. I gave my cell phone number and I said, let's just discuss this. Gave my cell phone number, said he'd call me that night. Didn't hear from him. Tuesday came, I forgot about the guy. I'm not even gonna lie. Because I'm getting videos, we're getting ready to go out of town, so I got a lot on my plate. Didn't hear from him. The guy on KSL reached out to me Tuesday night. And then, like I said, Wednesday I reached out to the other guy and said, hey, I need to just make sure and confirm with the other guy that he's not going to buy it. So 6 o'clock that morning, I emailed him. And I said, hey, you have till 9 o'clock. Let me know what you're doing. Didn't hear from him. So I told the guy that bought it, hey, it's yours if you still want it. And he did. He wired me the money. Same day, he picked it up. And it was the easiest transaction. He was a business owner and super easy to deal with. Like, I love when people are straightforward and honest, and he was one of the other guys that said that he didn't care about the tires, but I offered it to him without him, and you know, he wound up just taking it the way it was. I really did want to keep the tires. I'm not gonna lie, like I was gonna redo the listing when I got back home. That's why I raised the price of it, and I was gonna take off the tires because I wanted to run the 37s on the AT4X. So originally I was like, you know what, I could just keep the tires and just lower my price on the dually and then just sell it, you know, at a more reasonable price, because the MSRP of that truck was $78,000. So offering that truck at, you know, 90 grand was really hard. That's why I said in the future, if I ever do a build like that, I'm always going to go with a higher trim level, because when the truck has sunroof, center console, cooled seats, 360 camera, bed view camera, and parking sensors, all that stuff, it's so much easier to sell that truck. And I will be honest with you guys, I'm just going to say it, and I know a few guys are going to disagree with me, but I personally think if you're going to do those types of builds, go with a Ford or Ram dually. I'm just going to be honest with you. I think a Ram dually is the one I'd go with, because you can get a night edition. And so with that, you know, if someone does want the blackout look, well, all you have to do is just add the tires in the level or lift, whatever you want to do. And then that really does make the build so much cheaper. So my build was so much money because of me painting the bumpers and blacking out the truck. And yeah, that stuff was really expensive to do, and I probably would never do it again, because like I said, it's hard to find people to see value in that on a dually. But I think that because more guys do buy Ram dualies, it's a little bit easier to sell that, you know, to them. So personally, if I do it in the future, it will definitely be on one of those trucks. So now I'm just back to just one pickup truck, and that kind of sucks because it was nice having two. Because when one got dirty and I would go and clean it, I could put it in the garage, leave it there, and then go drive the other one until it got really dirty. Then I would clean that one and then drive the next one. So I always kept a clean truck, basically, which was nice. But, you know, it is what it is. We have a Alliance Delta. It's a travel trailer. It's about 32 feet, and max weight's like 800 pounds. Be on the lookout for some videos. I got away with the GMC, and I had my wife tow for the first time. She would never tow the fifth wheel. She was too nervous about it. So this trailer was a little bit smaller, so she got behind the wheel, towed it. And I can't wait for you guys to get her reaction on the truck and trailer, because you guys know I'm not using a weight distribution hitch. Really good content coming, so be sure to subscribe to the channel. And the reason why I brought this up, I did a video saying, or I asked a question, you know, is the dually too much truck for a 32-foot travel trailer that's less than 8,000 or less than 9,000 pounds fully loaded? And the answer always is going to be no. You can never have too much truck. But I titled it that way because I will say, if you are going to use a dually for that purpose, I would 100% put something in the bed. Like, that truck would tow so much better. I wish I had a friend that had a four-wheeler or a heavy golf cart or something like that so we could test it out. But, you know, hey, maybe in the future I could do that. But I'm not going to ramble anymore. Super sad about the dually, but you guys got a lot of good content, right? You got a lot of good content on that truck. And I am going to give you guys my update video on one I did a long time ago. I said, don't buy a dually. And I'm going to redo that video because I was wrong about a few things. I was wrong about a few things in that video, guys. So now that I've owned one, I can redo the video and I can tell you, you know, the truth about owning a dually. Peace.